The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debbie, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes of their health and mindset issues and create a custom, natural, holistic strategy to address them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. Not many people have released 70 pounds, had a health and mindset transformation, and kept fit and trim for over a decade. I have, and I have staying power. And it's been over 12 years. I even became a half marathon runner at the age of 51 when I never ran from childhood to adulthood due to foot pain. And I've done 9 half marathons so far. Mindset is the key to lasting change. As a certified holistic health coach, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I guide them to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients. My coaching is for optimizing health, whatever is needed, releasing weight efficiently when needed, and enhancing your mindset. With my clients, I help them recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and emotions drive their actions and results. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. That's why it's crucial to have a positive mindset in life. It's also imperative to manage and release those low vibrational emotions like fear, frustration, and doubt, because all it's going to do is slow you down and get you stuck mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Like a hot air balloon with ballasts, I help my clients release those emotional imbalances and baggage so they can uplift to a better, happier, healthier life. In turn, they are releasing their stress. They're getting healthier and reshaping their core beliefs. You'll see and feel the differences with my coaching programs. Ask me about them. Set up a complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives. That's DebiChangesLives, as in Victory, ES.com/Linktree, LINKTREE, or use that QR code. And I'll guide you to that better, happier, healthier life with custom, natural, holistic solutions unique to you in the areas of mind, body, and soul. And today I'm honored to have Dr. Ewa Kleczyk, a healthcare analytics executive from Hello, back on my show. She has 2 decades of experience building and leading high-performing data science teams. Her career spans real-world evidence, health economics, outcomes research, and advanced analytics across healthcare and pharmaceutical industries. She's a widely published author in academic and industry journals, as well as she's written chapters in books and serves on multiple editorial boards. As a frequent speaker in academic and industry conferences, she brings structural and evidence-based approach to leadership and organizational strategy. She has several special achievements. One is she's the author of this book, Empowered Leadership, Breaking Barriers, Building Impact, and Leading Legacy. She's received multiple healthcare leadership awards, and she's the co-founder of Kleczyk Strout Foundation. Today, we'll be discussing how to beat executive burnout and protect your health. So let's welcome back Dr. Ewa Kleczyk, healthcare analytics executive from Paleo, speaker, author, and so much more. Dr. Ewa, welcome to my show. I shall be here shortly. There you are.
You're right. Thank you so much for having me at your show, Debbie, yet again. It's such a pleasure being here.
Yeah, we had such a great conversation last time, so this one's just going to be just as fun. And I guess burnout's not fun, but it is real, and it really does affect your health. And people really need to be aware of the signs. For people that are very stressed, whether it's in personal life or business life, the first thing I know is that people get fatigued, and that's going to slow them down mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So, what are the early warning signs for leadership burnout that most executives miss until it's too late?
Yeah, first of all, what an important topic for us to discuss. We have many women in executive roles. Since COVID, many women have left executive roles, so there is a imbalance happening when it comes to women representing in the boardrooms and at the leadership executive level. So I think it is very important to talk about it and talk about it, how to identify it. We all talk about work-life balance, but to achieve work-life balance, you really have to be very determined and very focused on achieving this. So when we are thinking about what the topics or what the first symptoms are when it comes to burnout, is really your mind never stops. You can't ever slow down. You can't ever detach yourself. And while we might be having days where sleep is a luxury, it shouldn't be every single day where you cannot take a deep breath and wake up in a refreshed way. One of the ways that I always talk to my leaders or potential women who want to be in leadership is, if you on Sunday night are stressed out to go back to work, that's your first hint.
Yes.
That means
Definitely.
something is happening. And I think that's most of us say, oh, that's normal for everyone. But if you're enjoying your work and you have the right balance, and I'm going to say balance for many people is different. Some people can work 80 hours a week and be just mentally healthy because they regenerate very differently. Others can only stay with 40 hours a week and need to have the right amount of social interaction or exercise or many other things. And I think this is dependent on each of us. However, when you start feeling anxiety going into work, when you start feeling like your mind never stops racing, when you start feeling like your life is not your own, I think you need to slow down and really start thinking about what is happening. Is this a symptom of something more happening in your life? And just slowing down, maybe at first at least observe whether this is just one time or is it happening now as a trend for many weeks consecutively. At the same time, everything is moving in a direction that you have never seen before.
Yeah, and it becomes additive too. So things may be going on at work, and maybe there's times where it's like maybe because you're trying to get to a deadline or whatever, it's a little bit more stressful at those times. But there might be things going on at home as well, and share the load of happiness or joyful things in the workplace as well as in real life, because a great release is maybe taking a break and just meditate if you can. I have this wonderful app that I'm going to talk about later that they can take like a power nap for 20 minutes and still be at work and get back into it. And these are wonderful things that you can do. And sometimes just walking up and down some stairs and getting around the office instead of sitting all day long is the best thing people can do. Because if they can get their blood pumping and get their body moving, that's going to, for me, when I run, that just brings up a whole bunch of endorphins and serotonin and makes you happier. And it's going to make your brain run more efficiently as well. But think it's probably not just business. It's not just what's going on in the business. It's probably what's going on at home too. And it's just adding the level of stress. And when you add levels of stress, you're going to be adding levels of inflammation to your health. So just pay attention to it. That's really important.
Absolutely. I do think that we all should be paying attention. And to your point, it doesn't have to be necessarily the stress at work. Work sometimes can be the outlet for dealing with what's going on in your private life, in your personal life. And I think recognizing both, it's very important. To your point, we sometimes say we are so busy that we don't think that the 5 minutes on a vibration plate or on a, to your point, going up and down the stairs or just doing jumping jacks or dancing to a silly music can restore the balance, right? And that's why those are coming in, and we all can find 5 minutes. If we can be on our phones for 5 minutes, we can go and do some other, we can do more of a exercise and or some kind of movement, because it goes about the movement. It doesn't have to be an exercise. It can be slow walking, it can be going to the nature, or can be even going out and taking sun on our skin and just enjoying the moment and changing the perspective.
Exactly. And, with the time changes throughout the year, get up a little bit early and watch the sunrise, because that's really what you're doing is you're syncing to the circadian rhythm, and that's going to help you feel better throughout the day as well. So it's a lot better than a cup of coffee, because caffeine can make you nervous and stressful as well. So,
absolutely. Along with alcohol, right? I think many people think that the drink is going to help them get the stress away, but very often it doesn't. So I think we all have to, especially in those times, we have to be very much more thoughtful about what we introduce to our lives and really observe how our bodies are feeling. And I think in one of your earlier statements in the commercial, you were talking about high density foods. We have to think about the nutrients that we are introducing in the point of stress and burnout. The best thing we can do is to slow down and go back to basics. And we don't really talk about that. It's that sometimes the most simple things are the best things for us.
Yeah. And, with stress and burnout, you're burning through your reserves, whatever you ate and whatever nutritional supplements you take. So those are the times you really need to, take more supplementation and eat very cleanly, so your body is not struggling processing the foods that you eat. So and don't forget the emotional component too. The emotional component will bring down your body, where you want to try to be more optimistic than you can possibly be than, pessimistic, because you're going to be at a higher vibration versus a low emotional vibration that will drag you and slow you down too, because it'll slow down your thinking as well.
And I do want to mention this, and maybe we can talk about it as well. I think the emotional component, we don't talk about it, especially for women, a lot, because being emotional at work in a professional life has a negative connotation. But we need to talk about that. We all need to have a way of releasing those emotions. I always would say is, in a time of burnout or some kind of anxiety, talking to a healthcare professional, it's very important, whether it's a psychologist, it's a psychiatrist, your GP, go and talk to them, or like yourself, holistic health coach, because we all need an outlet and someone else to listen to us without any judgment, and helping us really listen to us and give us and play back what we are saying, because very often the drama or the stress that we are feeling or the anxiety we are experiencing, it's actually not that anything extra is happening in our life. It's the way we are processing that information. And it's understanding the distance. It's understanding what we are thinking, is allowing ourselves, and especially for women, is being perfect is the primary thing. We always judge ourselves that we perform well, and I know that I do that, right, as an executive, and many executives do, because that's for women. We have to be always at our top game, and we tend to analyze it, and that gives a lot of stress, and that gives a lot of anxiety and emotional discomfort. And I think having an outlet where we can talk about it freely and getting someone else's perspective, it can really help us settle and gain a new vision, new perspective, and also think a little bit differently, change the mindset. And while we want to always be focusing on our physical, I think the mental piece is probably even more important as well, just making sure that we don't discount it, the power of taking care of ourselves emotionally, and making sure that we identify the feelings and then work and talk to the people who can help us move forward with the appropriate techniques that can help us relieve the pain that we are feeling.
Yeah, and that's where a mindset coach, like I do health and mindset, so that's where a mindset coach can help you, because there's many different flavors of fear, and doubt and frustration, procrastination. Those are, if you're dragging your feet through something, you're gonna need to identify, why are you doing this? That's some kind of fear that you have, that you're not good enough, or something going on. So that's why you needed to pause. If you find that, oh, I got this weird emotion coming on, maybe I needed to pause and take a deep breath and exhale, maybe do a set of 4, and really figure out what's going on right now that's causing that situation. And then, like you said, talking to an expert would help too. Now, with our next question, I can understand meeting overload, but how do you discover that meeting overload has quietly burning you, and what do you do to change it?
Yeah, especially after COVID, meeting overload seems to be a pandemic by itself. It's especially for organizations that are not necessarily in the office and you take every single phone call, you're working remotely. So meetings became your coffee stop at the coffee station and talking to your colleagues. It becomes the lunch that now you are taking as well. And as it's for organizations, especially that are growing or going through change, it can become quite a overwhelming point. I think we as leaders always have to make sure that we ourselves manage our calendars. I'm gonna say it. It's our responsibility to manage the calendars. It is blocking out our focus time, whether it's evening, whether it's morning. And when you are in leadership positions, sometimes days are blurring, right? You are waking up early to do a meeting, or you're staying up late and working across global time zones. Sometimes those lines are really, really blurred and you have to manage correctly. But it's also our responsibility to make sure that we know what meetings we are going. Do we have to go to every single meeting, for example? Can we navigate? Can we delegate to someone else, or simply say, why am I going? There is like 20 people on this meeting already. What are we achieving here? What is the agenda? How am I as a leader going to help you? And I think people will invite you very often to every meeting they can because they want your opinion. But the question is, if we don't prioritize our time, we cannot lead our organizations, we cannot provide the input, and then we don't have time for free thinking either. And as leaders, regardless what level you are as a leader, you still need that ability to think and make sure that you understand what is happening, how do you analyze the information, what is the next step, because we are responsible for providing the pathway for others to follow. So it's meeting burnout, or the number of meetings that many people are facing. It's not uncommon right now, but I think again this goes back to setting the right examples as leaders, saying, I don't need to be in every meeting. If my director is already there, why does a VP need to be in that meeting? Should probably one of them go, because they should be able to make independent decisions. By also delegating and preserving the time, you're also empowering others to step into those leadership positions. And we don't ever think about it, right? Oh, I'm the most important. I think you're even more important if you create a bench of highly performing leaders behind you. And now you can focus on something else and they can do the work that you normally would be doing. And they are growing at the same time. And I think it's the reframing, which very often when you are in a hustle of meetings, you don't think about it. But when you take a moment, again, what you said, the slowing down and reprocessing what's happening and saying, is that a normal thing? Do I really have to do this? Can someone else do this? How do I protect my time? I think that's what's going to change. And not only that you as a leader are going to feel better, but you're providing empowerment to others behind you. You're telling them, I trust you. I trust you to go and represent me. And if you need me, I'm here to help you, but you have it. And then we are also allowing others to step in and grow into those positions, which ultimately help us move up in our own careers. So we often talk about it, oh, I want to be in every meeting. But again, as a leader, it's recognizing you don't have to be. You need to train people. You need to give the opportunity to other people to represent you and represent this message that you would like to present to the rest of the organization.
Yeah, and it really does give them an opportunity to lead. And maybe there's some questions you want to make sure that they get answered or get some input on, and then they'll come back and feedback to you. Mm-hmm. And not only that, does that, when someone has an opportunity to do that, it just empowers them, like you said, and makes them happier. Mm-hmm. They feel like they're going somewhere. They don't feel like they're stagnant because they are growing. So, being a leader is okay, but being a leader that lets other people lead underneath you and get back to you is the best thing, because you're splitting up responsibilities with other people, and it makes them feel special.
Absolutely. And I think as leaders, that's part of being a leader. You don't have to be in every single meeting, because you're creating a bunch of leaders behind you who are supporting you, who are supporting your teams and representing you. And I think that's what we need to remember. You bring the right people into those positions in your organization because you trust that they're gonna represent you and your viewpoints the right way. But if you bring them in, then you have to give them the play and the room to do this.
Exactly. Now, your line, create your own table and convince others to join, is a signature theme of yours. How does this mindset guard against burnout for women in tech leadership, especially? It's probably all over the board as well. So explain it for us, please.
Yeah, I'd say I love this statement, because I think myself climbing the ladder, the proverbial ladder, you sometimes go into those rooms, you might not be never be invited, but when you get in there, you also see that maybe you don't belong there necessarily. And I think we always have to think about, what is the room that we want to build? Waiting for the invitation that may never come, I would say it's a little bit of a waste of time. 2, if you want something, it's up to us to get it, right? So take that initiative. You don't have to be at the highest level to be an extremely influential and in some shape and form powerful person that is going to change the industry, organization, whatever sphere it is. But by stepping in and being proactive and create the circle or the table or the group that you want to be proud of or you want to represent, I think that also allows for others to do the same. Now you are inviting people, you are giving the space. And we keep forgetting that very often we don't get invited because we might have a different opinion. But if you create a space where the diversity of opinions, diversity of backgrounds is so important and is so cherished, everyone grows around. And then your overall mission and your overall perspective and perception within whatever your span of influence is also changing, because those individuals are then helping you. So I say, don't wait for an invitation that may never come. Create your own table, bring the people you want, shape them up, invite the people who are sitting and would never be invited, bring them in, because there is nothing better than provide the voice to those who cannot have the voice and really support them. And I think that's what really shapes it. For women, especially in technology, while we are trying to make a lot of stride to improve it, technology, STEM, analytics is still pretty dominated by males. And it's because it's very technical, but it's also because the environment doesn't change necessarily. And I think it is for us women or any minorities that are very rarely represented, for us to take those and drive it. Because if we don't do this, if we don't invite the change will never happen. Because we are all very comfortable, right? And the moment you're invited where you don't fit in, women, why in 5 years after joining technology, only 1 out of the 5 women that joined stays? It's a very small number. So, but the reason for it is because they don't feel like they are being understood, they are being supported, that it's not the right circle for them. And I think we need to bring this in and really help. And that's what was one of those things for me, is that looking at and giving the voice to everyone around. And I want to mention, for me, it's not only helping women, but it's helping minorities and helping males as well. You need to give everyone opportunity to grow and make sure that everyone is supportive, because there is a lot of talent that often is overlooked. And I think we as leaders, it's our responsibility to look at the talent and provide them opportunities to really grow if they want to. The other piece that I always want to say is not everyone wants to be a leader, and that's perfectly fine. And for those of you who are listening here, if you are not a VP or you don't want to be a VP, you can be an expert in your area, be an individual contributor who has influence and span of influence much larger than many VPs do. Because it's how you treat people, how you communicate, what your knowledge is, what you are known for. And I think that's what also changes. So your table might be a table of experts that work so well together and but have zero per se managerial or leadership titles or responsibilities. You are actually doing that by the sheer fact that you are taking projects on, that you are coaching others, that you are having difficult discussions when discussions needs to happen. And I just want to mention, not everyone wants to be a leader, but being leader, it has so many different facets that we just need to recognize what style of leadership we are the best at, and just go with that.
Yeah, there are many different, facets of leadership, and it's like a diamond.
Mhm.
So a diamond could be any color, any shape, anything, just like people. And but people that are diamonds, who have special talents in certain areas, should really be acknowledged for that, and they are the expert in those areas. I completely agree with that. That's wonderful. Now, why do you prioritize structural? I know why, but structural and process fixes over individual self-care advice when addressing a burnout on a team?
Yeah, so I think to every burnout, it's multiple components. What does the company do or doesn't do, and then the culture of the organization as well as the individuals who are in it. So you always have to be thinking about the holistic aspect. So one, it's very important to talk to the employees who are feeling burnout, hear them out, give them the advice. But the other piece is also look at the processes that are happening. So what it means is have we automated the aspects, the repeatable tasks? Are we really leveraging the newest technology to increase our individual productivity? So if we don't do this, then create a plan where this is allowed. Because think about it, with today's technology, with AI now coming in, there are certain tasks that none of us need to do. And those that really are mundane, very often for especially individuals who are experts, for them to be doing, that's I don't want to say waste of time, but it's a waste of time, right? And waste of resources in many aspects. And it actually diminishes the power and the expertise and the ability for those who are experts to actually perform. So I always want to look at this, what is structurally has been happening, what is the leadership that happened, where are the gaps that we need to fill in, and then also create a culture where we can talk about these difficult comments, questions, because me as a leader, if I do not know that one person might be continuously struggling with, maybe their workflow has never been automated and they are the only one continuously working 12-hour days, while others are having the luxury of only working 8 because their workflows were done. And then we need to make the priority to review it and make the right changes, because those structural changes are helping then elevate the motivation, the productivity, the empowerment for the individuals, and then we can help coach them on how do you create that work-life balance, whatever that means for that individual. And I always talk to them as well as everyone has a different priorities in life, and we should never compare ourselves. Some individuals, family is very important. For others, they can work continuously and they are the most, they feel like outside life doesn't exist to some level, but they are happy with it. And I think we should never criticize anyone for it. We should give room for different types of working styles and guide individuals and give them and support them in the way that they require in order to be successful.
Yeah, and what you're trying to do is prevent really bad burnout. But when you
Exactly.
see someone struggling, you're like, can I give you a helping hand? That's what leadership is. What's going on here? Can we try to help you? So that's fabulous. I love that. Now, what would you say to a leader who feels guilty about protecting their own time and capacity?
I say you are a great leader, and we have to say it very loudly. We as leaders are carrying a lot of responsibility. It's organizational responsibility, it's a responsibility for our employees, it's responsibility for whatever the objectives we were asked to fulfill. So we have to be making sure that we take the time for ourselves. It is okay to say, tonight I am spending time, I'm going out for dinner. It is, or spending time with my family. It is okay to say, I'm happy to join this call, but I will not be doing after hours on Friday night. How many of us are often called in after 5 o'clock? And because we are a multi-zone country and now very often globally working, those on East Coast or those on West Coast get penalized very often, right? Because they are right on each side of that. So either the calls are 5 in the morning or the calls are 8 p.m. And we have to be mindful that people have the right, that we all have to set those boundaries. And occasional, yes, we all have to do this. And that's what it is. But if we don't set the right example, then it also shows that that's how we expect our employees to work, whether that's right, whether that's what we agree with or not. Very often leaders say, I only had this time, so I did that. But we also are setting the culture, we are setting the example. So be also mindful that people watching us, right? So if we don't preserve the boundaries, others will feel that they can't do that either. And that's going to start propagating, which ultimately not only going to increase our burnout, but spread the burnout within the organization, where it could have been very simply adjusted and changed by setting the appropriate examples of, yeah, you probably on Friday night, maybe if someone comes in late, ask you for a call, and it's some urgency, you're probably going to say, can we do it on Monday? And I'm sure it's going to be just fine. So it's also realizing that by us doing that, we are really preserving our own mental health and allowing ourselves to actually be much more productive in the long term.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know why this thought came up in my head, but do you know who Scrooge is?
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, you got to do this, this, and this, and this. And everybody was like, he was a very unhappy individual. And that doesn't go very far. If you're a boss like that, it doesn't go very far because people don't look up at you and they don't think you care about them. And it became a little bit of a nightmare for him. If you think about it. And so, having compassion for somebody when you see them struggling, like we were talking about in the question earlier, also having compassion for yourself, knowing I can't do this right now. Sometimes you don't want to explain things because maybe you don't want to explain everything going on in your family, right?
Yeah.
But you want to say, I can't do this. I have an obligation I have to do now. It was unexpected. And can we just reschedule?
Yep.
And that's all you need to do. And as long as people are open and they hear that, that's fantastic. And every organization should be like that. And I hope they are.
I just want to add one thing, because I think you hit on something that is very important, which is women tend to feel guilty when they set boundaries, whether it's personal lives or corporate lives. And you mentioned we should not have to explain. And I'm going to say this, we shouldn't have to explain. We all have lives, we all have situations, and they're going to happen, right? There are kids, there are elderly parents, there are spouses who are having a bad day or something happens, there's an emergency, or there is simply you want to have a date with your spouse or with your significant other or whoever else, or go for a girls' night out. You planned it for the longest time. And I think if things are being asked of us outside of our work life, or I guess our official office hours, occasionally setting those boundaries is important. I do want to mention one thing that, being as a leader, I understand that there will be sometimes places where we have to do what we have to do. So I am not saying don't ever say yes. What I'm saying is it is important. By setting boundaries, you are also presenting how much you respect yourself and what is the expectation of others. And that's, I think, is very important. And again, for all of you women listening, just think about the following. This is, you don't own, we don't have to explain ourselves, because we all have lives, and it's conflicts will happen. And writing a novel explaining, unless you choose to, or it's very important, in most cases, to, like you said, a simple, I have an obligation, I have a conflict, it resolves. Or I have a family emergency, it resolves everything, and no more explanation is needed.
Yeah. Those boundaries are really important to protect yourself
Mhm.
and mentally and physically as well. Now, you have an offer for our audience today. Do you want to explain what that is?
Absolutely. So for those of you who know or this right now, you can see my book is presented. So for anyone who would like to email me, you can get, and want to get a copy, I can give you 50% of the book price. There is on Amazon, and you just need to contact me and we can make those arrangements.
Yeah, and you can contact her via email.
Mhm.
And it's so it's EKLECZYKPHD@gmail.com. But this QR code is a form that you can just fill out, and she gets emailed up automatically, so you can just scan that, and that goes directly to her.
That's awesome.
So this is a wonderful offer, and I love it because, people can learn how to break through these barriers and make an impact and leave a legacy. So I just love this book. I got to get the book myself. So, Dr. Ewa, thank you for being on my show, and I really appreciate you coming back, and I'll have you back again. Will you stick around for closing remarks?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Now, remember, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I start off with the gut and mindset. I can also help you with hormones, blood sugar, brain and heart, bone and joint, and immunity. I help people who are anxious up to athletes, because I am guiding you to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrient products that reduce symptoms. You'll feel better, possibly lose additional weight like I did. I was on maintenance at 50 pounds, and I was really exhausted. I changed my supplementation, and I released an additional 20 pounds and became that half marathon runner. That's my story. I want to hear yours. And pretty much, I also help you with your mindset. So what I help you do is I help you release the stress and recognize the stress, emotions, and recognize the emotions and entanglements in the past. And I'm there as you're reshaping your core beliefs. And I'm like a sounding board where you can say, what do you think about this? And I kind of tell you. But you are just enhancing your own mindset. With my health optimization and weight release, your body's more efficient. So it's a mind-body connection that makes your heart and soul sing. So ask me about my program. Set up a complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives. That's DebiChangesLives, as in Victory ES.com/Linktree, LINKTREE, or use that QR code. And there you get to know me, I get to know you, and I'll guide you to your optimum health. And it begins with 1 to 2 assessments. The first one is actually the health evaluation, where you can rate your systems the last 30 days in 4 categories of health. Some questions are overlapped into multiple categories. And you'll get a baseline score. And I will review this with you. And, we're going to work on that score. So I'm going to create that custom natural holistic strategy for you that's unique to you, where you want to start. And we will monitor this on a monthly basis and see your score improve. And I also have 2 different body scans. Zero Link is one I love to use because I can send it remotely and internationally. I actually got to Australia and South Africa. The Zero Link is a transdermal optical imaging app. I send a link to your phone. You scan your face for 30 seconds. It goes directly into your skin, looking at blood flow for components of energetic, functional, emotional, and different body systems and lifestyles. And the emotion one is such a hidden gem because it uses traditional Chinese medicine of an organ like liver and an emotion like anger that affects it. But this is not a diagnosis. Because it creates biomarkers that go out of range at multiple levels and biomarkers that bring them back into range with products and services. It is a wellness report giving you some ideas of what you can do with it. I do review it with you because it's quite intensive. It costs $75. When you move forward with a product or a program, you get a $25 credit. If you want to find out more about this scan, you can either scan that code or go to the site, which is DebiChangesLives.com/Visera, VISERA, golden voucher. It'll give you some information. It's up to you whether you want to purchase it or not. And you can also ask me questions at my consultation site. Now, the Visera link is it's okay. Is a transdermal optical imaging app, also known as TOI, and it's quite accurate. You can look up its accuracy at PubMed.gov. And also, when you take the scan, you can be really amazed what your body is telling you. That's what a lot of my clients say. So you can use that QR code. You can contact me on my consultation site. And you can, ask me questions about it. Now, my consultation site are my programs. And on these, this is just a few. Take Your Body Back is a 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you're going to be utilizing a new version of you to drive you to success. All coaching is done on Zoom. And the first one is actually private to you because I'm a certified HIPAA health practitioner. All of the health evaluations are private to the individuals. I go over those. I give you a choice of 3 different programs. One's a natural approach to the GLP-1 with no injections or the issues that the medical model has. And once you pick one, I give you directions. I also give you instructions how to create a new version of you that's going to drive you with emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformation goals throughout your journey. The rest of the coaching is the same. You can be, whether it's group or private, you're going to be celebrating our wins. I'm going to show you how to use those boards, and I'll get you over guests with health and mindset tips. And of course, I'll answer your questions. If you want more information about this program, Take Your Body Back, you can use that QR code or go to the link debi.debichangeslives.com/Take Your Body Back, where only the first letters in each word is capitalized. And of course, you can ask me questions at my consultation site because this program has changed quite a bit, and it'll create a new you. Now, if you're a do-it-yourself or wife asks this for you, it's an intermittent fasting program that gets your cells and body humming and turn boosts your metabolism with rich, dense nutrition and high-quality essential nutrients with a program of exercise and recipes. Here at the consultation, you can ask me about the program. If you feel like you need some coaching, there's a 2 or 4 week program that you can pay for to get you going. And after that, it's up to you if you want to pay for more coaching. With my mindset enhancement, as well as my health optimization, those are a little bit longer term journeys. But you can use the smaller programs to try to create a more customized program for you that may save you some time and money. And since we're talking about burnout today, you can go to the next slide. I'm offering NewCom, which is meant to support stress relief, better sleep, relaxation, mental clarity, focus, recovery, resilience. It's balancing your nervous system. This app is a wonderful app that I love to help me through my troubles and stressful situations. And it's actually worked really well for my son when he has some issues as well. It was originally a medical device that was an FDA compliant medical device that helped doctors and dentists not use anesthesia. They use this app instead. Special ops and military have used it. If they didn't pass the stress test in special ops, they would have to retake rescue until they did. And it's also good for sports teams and even special needs Olympians. It's good for children to adults. I'm offering a 15% lifetime discount and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you can go to https://bit.ly/newcom, capital N, lowercase c, lowercase u, capital C, lowercase a, l, m, and lifetime and discount both are capitalized. And what's really great about this app, remember I was talking about Power Nap? If you didn't get enough sleep last night, Power Nap is going to give you an additional 4 hours of sleep in 20 minutes. And it really works. And we can go to the next slide. Finally, learn more about alternative health services, products, programs, and offers, articles, blogs, upcoming shows, promos, and events by subscribing to my newsletter, which is at debichangeslives.com. That's DEBICHANGESLIV as in victory es.com/radio TV show, all as one word, or use a QR code and I'll give you a gift, a 30-day health and mindset daily action journal, where you can record your gratitude, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And those are very important to pay attention to, just know what's going on that day, as well as water, food, supplements, and exercise you've done on a daily basis. You even track your measurements. Then you want to celebrate your wins on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and find your gaps to work on. If you need help bridging that gap, you contact me for coaching. This journal is a great health and mindset tool. And I'm certain that you found this show educational, eye-opening, and enjoyed it. Reach out to me for my program, products, services, and offers, and purchase Dr. Eva's book, Empowered Leadership, Breaking Barriers, building impact, and leaving legacy. Do we have time for Dr. Ewa to come back?
I'm back.
We have time. See, I'm not very good at time. So is there anything else you want to say?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here and for us to be discussing such an important topic, especially for women leaders, thinking about burnout and talking about what are the symptoms and how can we solve for them. So for anyone listening, please take care of yourself. Know that setting boundaries is a one way of respecting yourself. Please make sure that when you start feeling anxious, when you start feeling like going to work is very difficult, take a moment for yourself, take a deep breath, talk to someone who can help you, and live the life that you really want to live, because living in stress is not going to be helpful for you, for your family, and your overall well-being. So topics like this are very important, and I'm so glad that Debbie asked me to come back so we could talk about it, because hopefully we inspired someone, if not many people, to take care of their lives and know how to identify burnout and what to do about it. Thank you.
Yeah. And this anxiousness as well as emotions, okay?
Mhm.
If it's out of the ordinary for you, pay attention to that. That's kind of like a signal, and take some time. Some people are sensitive when people argue, and if that's the case, you need to build a thicker skin. Well, maybe you just need to build a better boundary where you're not thinking it's for you. And also, with all of this stuff, you've mentioned a little bit at the beginning, we need to be proactive and not reactive. Because when you're proactive, you can't control everything that's going on around you. You can only control what you are doing. And when you get time to be proactive and you're paying attention to what's going on around you that's kind of disturbing you, then I got to work on that. Maybe I need to talk to that coach. Maybe I need to talk to that psychiatrist or psychologist, or maybe my leader, because those are things you can get off your plate so that you can be a better person.
Absolutely.
And so it's in life, and you've mentioned this several times, you want people to grow. It's important that you grow in life. Otherwise, it gets boring. I'm sorry.
Very well said. Very well said.
And sometimes you have to do something that's a little bit difficult for you, but step into it with courage. Because if no one else, you ask your boss or your leadership, I'm having problems here. Don't be scared to ask for help. And then most likely will help you.
Absolutely.
So those are the things that we learned today in our show today. At least I learned that from Dr. Ewa, and I had some feeling about that was where it's going to go. But I've been in corporate America too, so I do understand what goes on there. So now, thank you for being on my show today, and And I will have you back, but I have to close it out now. So continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.